All right. Well, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Scrap Time. I'm your host, as always, Mr. Ben Nissim, and today we have a very special guest joining us. I know you were probably wondering, where is Mr. JCap? He is busy being a W significant other, W boyfriend. So we have Mr. Anthony Wheeler, nameless, joining us today.
What's good, guys?
And as always, off the top of the show, we ask how people's days are going, what sports they've been watching. I know you've also been grinding for Verdansk. How's the last week or so been? In between
It's been great. Been streaming, been yapping a lot this week, honestly. And watching the Masters today. What, Sam?
Said, yeah, you have.
Yeah, yapping this week. It's been fun hanging out with the boys, honestly. And then, yeah, today just kind of enjoying the day off. I'm not streaming today because I got work the next 2 days. So just playing some Verdansk, watching the Masters. It's a good time.
How's Verdansk? Is it fun? Is it too slow? Like, what's your read on it?
I mean, if you go in and you just want to kick back, chill, like it's fun. But I think a lot of the like pro or competitive players that play are gonna get annoyed, like, and I can get annoyed too because you just die super fast. But I found like when I just kick back and I'm just chilling and not running and challenging everything, it's actually like pretty fun. But yeah, I mean, you die in 2 bullets.
Yeah, you knew.
Yeah, Sam can probably attest to that. I was watching a little bit of his Twitch rival stream yesterday.
I got 46th place out of 50 teams.
Yeah, I mean,
fun.
competitive Verdansk, competitive Warzone is, I don't know. I don't like
Not
it that
it,
much.
bro.
Yeah.
Not it. I mean, I don't mind the map and like the actual like customs, but just the meta of this and HDRs and time to kill is just awful.
Verdansk kicking back with your boys and just taking it slow is a really good time, though.
I just don't have the attention span, dude. If I'm sitting on a roof for more than 35 seconds, I start to like my eye starts twitching.
Yeah. It's the competitor, 100%.
Well, cool.
Are you okay, Ben? Are you
Yeah,
tweaking
no,
down
no,
there?
I'm good. I'm just
Always,
letting you
you're
guys
always
talk.
doing shit
I'm
mid
good.
episode. You're
No,
always doing shit
I'm
mid
good. I'm
episode,
just
bro.
free now, just trying to, get
Okay.
everything sorted. Sam, obviously, you were saying you were playing some Warzone.
It was horrible. I hate it. It's awful.
All right. Well, other than that, I know you've been watching a lot of scrims, vibing with the old men, talking about better times. Has that been fun? A little OpTic scrim peep every day?
Yeah, I stopped paying my tariff because those guys are all richer than me. But yeah, OpTic Scrims have been cool. It's been good content at the end of the day, so I don't have to play ranked for 8 hours. I've enjoyed it.
That's crazy. You're not a rich streamer.
I just wish I'm gonna ignore that dumb shit. I wish other teams would just follow suit, bro. Like if OpTic's already streaming their
Same,
streams, I
bro.
wish people would just do it. Just turn it on at this point.
Bro,
I mean,
somebody.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
All right. So Pac-Man made a great point in chat last night. He said Halo teams all stream the scrims. And I was like, yeah, why don't we have more teams streaming scrims? I don't know. You can't. You're not really stealing shit, bro. At the end of the day, cover your mini map, stream your scrims, cancel out your teammates' comms. It's cool.
Yeah,
I
I mean, I
mean-
like how OpTic does it. They mute between games and they only have like his comms for stream with cam on. It's perfect.
Perfect.
I know a lot of people are gonna say there's like nothing to lose by streaming scrims, but like some of these guys, like they really want to throw their stream on, stream to like 10, 15 people. Like I just feel like you see Ant with like 4,000 people in there watching him stream scrims. It's like if I'm like an ultra player or breach player, am I really throwing on my stream for like 50 people max? Like I don't know. It definitely, to me, like I'd probably think twice, and I kind of understand why, if that's their reasoning. Like it just wouldn't be encouraging.
I don't know about that aspect because that all comes down to like you just building your brand, right? I mean, if you don't want to stream and make content, then that's at the end of the day, that's fine. But if you are actively trying to build your brand and make content, I feel like you should stream your scrims. And there's a lot of players that are doing that.
It just comes down to like your mindset on things. Because if you're like, I don't know who streams scrims other than Ant. I think Purge did last week. Like if you're Purge, you're gonna turn that bitch on for 50 viewers, or you're gonna look at Ant who has 6K. It's like yeah.
Gotta start somewhere, Sam. You know?
No, I'm not. No, bro. I streamed to 20 viewers for 5 years of my life. I get it.
Yeah.
I just think like for a lot of pros, they're down to do it the first 2 weeks, just when they're learning maps, just trying to kind of continuously soak because they're doing scrims or they're playing all the late night tourneys or wagers rates. Once the season gets going, I think for some of the guys, like they just don't want to deal with the hassle of it to the point like the monetary upside's not worth it. Obviously, like curves, right? If you're on OpTic or FaZe or Thieves, you're probably going to get a lot of viewers. I would also assume if Xnid turned his stream on, he'd probably get a lot of viewers.
He gets a fuck ton of viewers for AIDS. He gets like 1,000 viewers a night for AIDS.
So there are probably some rare exceptions, but I don't know,
Like
maybe.
Linz is like these are all obviously like
Yeah.
regional exceptions, but Linz's stream does pretty well for challengers as well.
Yeah, no, he gets a lot too. So I think there's starting to become more of a market again. We'll see if some of the other pros wise up to it, but at the moment, I think it's just OpTic. So, but anyway, good content there. Chelly, I did not ask you how your day went. I assume your day's been pretty good. I know you're up in Canada now, so.
Yep,
those vibes?
just chilling up here. Played some 8s the other night against Asim, Tommy, and those guys. Dude, why am I top fragging on a team with Enable, Tom Grav, and Nick in Classic?
Because they're ass.
They're all
Like,
Why?
I actually
Why?
I need like reparations for what I played, and I'm on 3%.
Reparations?
Bro, I need something, bro. Like that was ridiculous.
They're
Wait,
all old and
Enable-
ass.
Yeah, Enable's played a lot of this game though. So how is he ass?
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen Ian in rank play in this game. Does he play this game?
Yeah, he
Nub
did.
plays
I
this
played him.
game, bro.
I played him
Really?
in ranked. He was like eerie. He used to solo queue at
Oh,
night.
He
shit.
plays Nub at night ranked. I mean, they were just on that PEX grind for a few
Nub
weeks.
at night.
He was just on that PEX grind for a bit, and those streams are entertaining if you tune in. But yeah, if you're Nub, Tom doesn't play this game as much
They were
anymore.
probably arguing, bro. Nub and Tom.
They
G,
were
dude.
arguing for sure,
Yeah.
No,
and
it's
I'm just kind of there
The
trying to
toxic
soak.
They can't team, bro.
the toxic squad. So, well, cool. Well, appreciate you guys hopping on. As always, we'll start the show with a little bit of a. Well, actually, before we do that, real quick, I know Grind and Barrage got added to ranked. Have either guys played it, and do you guys think that it's addable maps, or do you think that they're just GG's chalked off the rip? Go next.
I have
That's
not
him.
played Grind or Barrage Hardpoint. I have played Barrage Control, and I can without a doubt tell you that that is the worst map I've ever spawned in on in my entire life.
Okay,
So I haven't played either of them in like competitively, but I ran around them just like look at it. And my initial impression was neither one of them could be a map just from like looking around. Barrage is weird because Barrage feels like you're in like one big like sand bunker,
Yeah.
but you can't mantle anything. And then like I ran around and looked at every rotation, and we had people in there like trying to see what like spawns would be. You spawn so close to hills. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily like a terrible thing, but I think
I need to play the HPs.
I need to play them in like a 4v4 to really get a feel. But
Now,
Yeah,
now
so
does it feel
Barrage
like?
Control is
Yeah.
not even. It's not even like a. Oh no, absolutely.
Hell
not.
no. That was the assessment I got over Barrage Hardpoint. I was watching some videos of it. If you watch some podcasts, are like, it definitely is a bang out map, and just visually feels like claustrophobic. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
it reminded me a little bit of like a more condensed apocalypse, kind of like even the way the hills float around.
I like that it's in the game though. Like I love that they're still adding maps and everything. I think it's like trying to revamp the map pool and ranked, even if they don't end up using them. I always support. I'm fine with that.
I'm hearing
Yes.
grind S&D is an option.
so I was able to play Barrage HP and Grind HP. Barrage was the better of the two. Grind was just, I felt like unplayable. Like there's just, you can get shot from literally anywhere on Grind, and there's a million different doors and windows, and then one of the hills is in like the huge half pipe, and like you're trying
Yeah.
to climb out of the hill. It's actually disgusting. And then Barrage, no, I had a lot of fun on Barrage. It was kind of like a bang out map. I mean, other than the fact that another map where literally like one of the hill P1 is in a divot, and you're just sitting in the divot with no cover, just getting shot from 5 different places. So definitely the hills might need to get reworked. I don't know what's good with that, but
You can't
there's
really rework them because they're all the maps. so
because it's
small.
literally the only. Yeah, no, you're right. There's like the map's so small. There's nowhere else but the hill. But yeah, I think it's like P4 and Barrage is like the only real money hill that you can pretty much post up in this little like it's like in this little house,
yeah.
small house thing, hut. Yeah. But other than that, I like Barrage. I think the pros should give it a shot at least and see what they think.
Well, they're not going to give it a shot because they probably won't try. They'll bitch and they'll just come down to CDL on whether they want it or not. That's how it is now. It's not up to the players anymore. They give some feedback, but the league has been making the map pool decisions this year, so it just kind of is what it is, you know. Plus, if I'm a pro, like, you know, there's also a lot of movement difference between the patches. Like, there's just certain things I understand that they may not get involved too much in this test, but we shall see if either of these maps gets added in. I probably doubt it.
Well, they're not even going to test them until Major 3 is over.
So,
Yeah.
They're not going to update.
so. Anyway, let's start off our match preview by taking a look at the standings. So this is the overall standings right now. As a reminder, top 8 go to champs, the bottom 4. Well, we'll see you in Riyadh for EWC. And as you can notice, it's still tight at the bottom of the standings as far as the last couple of spots for champs. OpTic's opened up a little bit of a lead on the 8th spot now, so you would think they're probably a little bit safe, but one bad event placing kind of brings the rest of the teams back in. But really, only 35 points separate 10 through 6 right now. So it's really anybody's game amongst those fighting for a couple of spots. And LAG and Vegas, yeah, still chalked. And as far
this
as
next OpTic match is huge.
yeah, and as far as the major 3 standings, big match for Vegas this week. 0-3 wouldn't make it impossible for them to make winners bracket, but they'd have to win out and hope things break their way. 3-0s, getting 3-0 is kind of a death sentence a little bit with how the tiebreakers work in this 5-match stuff. So, yeah, other than that, it's just a log jam, and this is just going to come down to 3-2, 2-3 tiebreakers.
Vegas is chalked, bro.
We're
Again,
gonna say
chalk
they're
always
probably
will be
chalked.
chalked.
They're always
They got
probably chalked.
phase.
Always probably chalked. So let's get into it. We go day by day here, and this is because you probably knew of this before. We go day by day, talk about the matches. We won't talk about all of them in depth, but we'll give our thoughts on each. So let's start out with Friday, our first match of the day, Miami and OpTic. Then we'll follow up with Vancouver, LAG. And the nightcap is Carolina versus Minnesota. That is a 1-1 match. LAG doesn't have a win. Vancouver's 1-1. OpTic 2-0. Miami 1-0. So an undefeated matchup. Which one do you guys want to talk about first? Or do you want me to just pick one? I'll tell you
Go
what.
ahead, Ben. As
I
always,
think
take me.
the best match of the day is Carolina Royal Ravens versus the Minnesota Rocker. The story of one team that didn't make a change, another
agree.
team that did make a change. I think on paper right now, looking at both these teams, to me, I think Minnesota could definitely take some respawns off of Carolina. Carolina might be the better search team. We'll start with you, Ant. Do you think this is a Game 5 banger? And if I had to go Game 5 banger, I think Carolina probably win that one, right?
I'm not sure because I think it can. I think it can go Game 5 for sure. It's the first point. I think there's some issues with Carolina right now though, and like their control. They've been losing a lot of controls, and
They're 0-6 round count in 2 series so far.
yeah, and they're like even before that in the last stage they were like losing controls, but it's been like counteracted a little bit by like their hard point has gotten better, which is like a good thing. I mean, I feel like this series just like really comes down to, you know, if Carolina can lock up the S&Ds, like if they, because I think they'll split the hard points. Like I think Minnesota saw Carolina's, like they'll both win their map pick and HP, but like if Carolina has to lock up the searches, like if we do go to that Game 5, I don't know if you guys have faith in them to lock up both searches. I'm not sure with the map switches coming in and you know, a lot of new stuff. I don't know if that can be guaranteed right now.
What do you think, Sam?
I'd be worried about Carolina if I was a Carolina fan.
I said I was worried before they even played a series for stage 3. I thought the roster change thing completely imploded their team. For Rocker, this is an important series for me because I don't think they've necessarily established like an identity as a team. I don't think they have like an anchor game mode yet. They lost 2 hard points in their first series. They won 2 hard points in their second series. They won a Game 5 round 11. They've lost a Game 5 round 11. So I think this is an important series against an upper end team to really try to find what their team is good at. I think Ken was great. Gio's been a fucking superstar for these guys since Major 2. And on the side of Ravens, I'm still super low. I think that the roster change thing with Reese, I think it's just a ticking time bomb. I think that they have the opportunity to go to Major 4 and get, or Major 3 and get like top 8, top 12, and I would not be shocked. They have the hardest schedule. They'll be in losers. I think they play LAT and FaZe, and I don't see them upsetting either one of them going forward. So
If they lose this, it's chalk.
they're fucked. Yeah, I'm low on Ravens, and I wouldn't be shocked if they make a move after Major 3 just because of what's happened.
Chelly,
But I
I
have
know
Rocker winning this series.
I know you're high on the Rocker boys, but I kind of agree with Sam. I think I'm a little worried about Carolina. You feel the same?
I mean, yeah, it's always going to be concerning with Reese Vivid still on that roster, just with how compromised they are. I'm looking at the map pool right now for both teams. We're probably going to get a proto square up.
And Hardpoint?
Yeah, and a hard point. Yeah, sorry.
I like me.
And I don't know, bro. I think Ravens could 100% win that proto. So
They can.
Yeah.
Rocker
I mean,
played a good 8.5 minutes against OpTic last week
Yeah, I
before
mean,
the
honestly,
fucking collapse.
Same could be said about Carolina in the LAG match, though.
Yeah. No, agreed on that.
It's like kind of like,
Oh, they got speed ran by LAG, huh?
yeah. Well, they clutched up at the
Yeah.
end. Remember?
Yeah.
But
so
it
it's
was,
like-
it was looking
Bro,
real slow.
Ravens have 3 egregious map losses in 2 series, though. They have a 6-0 in search, and they had their 0-6 in control. So their
it
2-3-5s are not looking to be the best at the moment, which is a
Yeah.
problem against Rocker
That's
with
a problem,
Game 5
bro.
round 11s.
And like if they in the match versus Mini, like will Rewind be in? Because I like Mini's Rewind. Always have.
They could
it's
play. Yeah, I don't remember Ravens early season Rewind. I don't think they played it that much off the top of my head because I think the teams that
No, they
favored it
didn't.
were like early LAG pre-roster change. Boston, who fucking loves that map, they're insane at that shit still. Minnesota early season really liked LAT obviously. Like I don't remember Ravens really playing Rewind for the most part.
So like looking at their maps, right, Sam and everybody. So like the dealership out of Minnesota was good, right? They kept
Yeah, it
going
was clean.
4 stacking. Like
Yeah.
they had a clear idea how they wanted to play it. Their Hossy's always been solid. Nero gets loose, like they bang out open. It's good. And their Rewind's good. So if you're Carolina, I don't really know, like what are you vetoing? Like you're squaring on Hossy, right? Probably.
Unless they they want to play a new Rewind or they want to play dealership. I don't know.
They've already
they
banned dealership once.
They went. Oh, they did ban dealership first series.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might be like a Rewind or a Hossy square.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm
so-
favoring Minnesota in the series.
Yeah, me too.
Of maps here.
So, and we talked about this on the last episode of Scrap Time, and I wanted to ask you, since we have you on here, do you think Gwyn is undroppable? Like, do you think
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, I do.
he's undroppable? Okay.
I think I think the reason I think he's undroppable is because, dude, this organization has struggled to make champs since the inception of the CDL, and he's really good online. And I think they're just waiting for him to have a breakthrough. And like, if you really look at Ravens overall this year, like they've had a good year so far.
Their
They're not
placings in both minors and
Yeah.
the events have been good.
Yeah, they've had a good year, and it's been relatively stress free as well. Like for the most part, like they've made winners bracket. They've been getting steady points. They lose a match, they bounce back. So I think when we talk about Ravens, it's just more so of like, will
I think it was
make that breakthrough to
expectations.
win. Yeah,
The problem is eventually the pack's gonna come back to them, and then they're gonna, they're good for champs. But like, it's possible they just kind of fall into the T6 category. So
Yeah, but you can't drop an automatic 1.2 online, bro. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
In today's CDL, you can't do that.
And the last part I would say to this, just popped in my brain is like, outside of Slasher with like FaZe, these players have struggled with their CDL rosters for years. Like this is really like, outside of Slasher being like a god FaZe squad, like the best team that these guys
Their
have
most
had.
steady team, yeah.
Yeah, in CDL. So
I agree. Dude, I feel like I'm a Reese Vivid apologist through and through because I think that kid's been done dirty on so many different teams.
oh yeah.
But like, just to see it happen again this season and the trajectory that this team is going to go down and him inevitably getting dropped anyway, I feel so bad for him, bro.
It's fun.
I made a video on it. I don't know if you guys ever watched it.
Nah, I haven't seen it.
It was the hidden superstar like last
I think
year.
that kid, dude, if I was still playing, I guarantee I'd make Reese. I guarantee
Yeah.
it.
I talked about it. I was like, damn, bro, this guy's always on like a team that's hovering, and then they drop him to make a breakthrough, and they don't make the breakthrough.
They
He
get
gets
worse.
fucked.
Every team that's dropped him has
yeah,
gotten worse.
and then
Every
he
single
gets
one.
fucked. It sucks, dude.
It's
the
absurd.
only time that didn't happen was
Like early
Never,
ball. There was like a
actually.
Boston. No, there was like a Boston team or something that like maybe.
but that
got
was like
better,
they
but,
made 49 changes that year. They dropped him.
Yeah,
they picked
exactly.
up fucking.
Well, they got a top 4, right? When they dropped him, and
Yeah.
it was the Beans team.
Yeah. I think that was the only situation. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Like even when he was on Empire, going all the way back to Cold War, him and Ant were really good together.
They got
And
top
then-
3.
Yeah, they made a final. They lost the final
Yeah.
to Toronto, dude. They
No, that's final the phase.
was it phase?
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it like major four? Whatever. Regardless,
Major
like
four core,
I think that until the Pred roster change for this season happened, that Minnesota roster change from last year for Reese was the worst move in the CDL.
Oh, it was
mid-season.
terrible.
It was
That
the
was
worst roster change in
terrible.
the CDL. But obviously, until all OpTic shit this year happened. But
All right, well, let's move on. We still got a lot of matches, but I assume we're all feeling probably more so Minnesota Rocker than Carolina.
yeah, I'm leaning Minnesota like 3-1, 3-2.
Yeah, but it could be a fun series. I think this one goes more than 3 maps.
It's a good one.
The other 2 series I think are a little bit more lopsided. Let's start with Miami, OpTic Texas. Miami only had 1 match last week. They played Vegas. It went to a game 5. I'm trying to remember. I think last map they won like pretty cleanly against Vegas on the Hacienda.
It was
And
like a
OpTic
6-2, 6-3.
Yeah, and
Like
OpTic's been in pretty much cruise control. They obviously went to game 5 round 11 against Minnesota, but they curb stomped Cloud9 last week. I think looking at both of these teams, I think Miami will give them a fight, at least in hardpoint, but S&D control problem spots for Miami. Do you see like that one match that Miami played against Vegas? Do you feel confident in them in those other 2 game modes? I'll start with you, Chelly, or you think OpTic probably take this 3-0, 3-1?
Yeah, I'm still not convinced on this Miami team, even with the roster change. No disrespect to Metals, but I guess disrespect to Metals. If he's still on this roster moving forward, he's just kind of holding the boys back. He has a series where he will drop a 1.2, 1.3. But I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Super. I know he had a really nice S&D on dealership and had some nice clutch.
No,
Yeah, he did have a good series.
He had a great series
Against the Falcons boys, though. Like, you know what I mean? So you got to take it with a grain of salt. He's been really good in search, though. Super has been. He's
he's the answer there for sure.
Yeah, 100%. But nah, bro. Like, I think Metals is still the glaring issue with this Miami team. Rencor and Real, obviously, you know what you're gonna get in those respawns. And if Super can pick up their S&D for them. But man, I mean, this should be a 3-0 for OpTic.
So a couple of things for Miami. So I think, like, through 2 matches evaluating them, bringing in Super, he's a great search player for them. The game mode they've struggled in all year long. Obviously, the one look we saw in Control, let me go back and look, but they smoked Vegas. Yeah, I was like, we saw 2 looks, but they smoked Vegas 3-0, and it was what is this one? Oh, this is at the major. I think with Lucky, though, and I'm sure you guys talked about, we talked about a lot on broadcast, like, he made, like, big plays on rotations and hardpoint.
Yeah.
Like, huge, like, game-winning plays, like being a rat. Like, and it doesn't always show.
He got better on land, too.
Yeah,
Lucky was pretty good on land.
And I feel like the edge that Miami had over the bottom portion of the league was their hardpoint was better than, like, the bottom 4 or 5 teams.
Yeah.
Right. And that gave them an edge. So, like, if they do have, like, a nominal increase in, like, search and destroy performance, but their hardpoint falls off, does this team get better? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, if they can't consistently win HPs, this team's going to be in trouble.
I think their control is also abysmal. If you don't play them on vault, if you don't play them on vault, like, you don't have an automatic WAP win, but your odds go up exponentially.
But it was like when they would win series, they would just, like, win both the HPs and, like, steal a search. So,
yeah.
I just think this week for Miami, because they have multiple games coming up, like, I think we're going to learn a lot about this team, because their next 3 matches, they play FaZe after this one this week, and then Toronto and then Minnesota. So, like, they're playing 3 of probably the top 4 or 5 teams in the league, and then Minnesota, who's never an easy out now. It seems like they might be in the top 6 conversation potentially. Like,
why are they all of a sudden playing Hasi? It's like they just get slammed. Yeah, like they're just getting slammed.
Hasi hardpoint.
Yeah, like I'm like looking at it.
They've been playing it.
I mean, they're 2 and 3 on it, and they just played it back to back. Lost it in, like, to Thieves and then to Vegas.
I think people are willing to play them
3 times in a row now.
People are willing to play them on red card, but I think red card just didn't get picked. I think Vegas banned red card after they got smoked on it in that first series, and then Miami banned Vault against Vegas.
I mean, Miami just have to be comfortable playing Vault. I don't know.
Usually are.
I would say
Real
not in this
Vault.
matchup though. You want to ban Vault in this matchup. You're not playing OpTic on Vault hardpoint.
Yeah, you definitely ban Vault here for sure. But I feel like Miami've had a couple good vaults. Like Real's had a couple pop-off maps on a vault, from my memory.
It's gonna be the same.
Yeah, I feel like
I've seen that too. Against OpTic on land or something.
It's gonna be the same set, guys, because I just don't see
LAT actually.
I don't see OpTic playing red card against Miami, so it's gonna be Protocol. It's gonna be Protocol, Skyline, Hasi.
They're just losing Hasi. They've also, I mean, it's some close Hasis, but they've lost 3 in a row now.
We'll see, because the Vegas Hasi was really close, if I remember correctly, and I don't know. OpTic
Was
loses
that Alex
Scrims.
like 36 and 20 map? Was that that map, or was it?
No, that was Skyline. He did
that. Skyline. It was
this was
Skyline,
250, 234, and
it was
Rail
first
dropped
Skyline.
32 kills for the L. But this was like pretty close, pretty much the whole way back.
Yeah, that's like the story of those guys. That guy's 35 kills. It's a 5-point game.
I don't know if you guys remember, but the last time OpTic Texas and Miami played a red card HP, it was 186, 175.
Oh my God.
The worst map of the season.
I've ever
worst
watched.
map of the season. I forgot about
Oh my
that.
God.
That's not going to change. I mean, we were watching OpTic's red card yesterday. We could talk about that.
They don't rotate, bro.
Yeah. Well, what are you guys thoughts on OpTic's progression? Obviously, been watching the scrims this week. Don't want to take too much away, but where do you feel about OpTic's at right now?
Oh, yeah. My number one thing with OpTic, I'll say it before, I'll say it again. Luke is like, we watched him online. He's a smart player. Like, I never do this. I took like 4 clips of his and did it in the drawing segment of the show. Like, this guy's switching to air on rotation. He's playing smart, playing his life. It'll always come down to me is if he's making those same plays on land, like those same calm plays when the situation demands it on land.
Yeah.
Like, and because Hook he's a stellar player. and he's making these huge decisions for them. It's allowing them to win rotations and fry. Like, he's doing dirty work on the map. He's not just headbanging all the time. And I think the 2 matches we've seen so far have proved that. So yeah,
Kyler's unbelievable.
That's so good.
Yeah.
The thing that I always say about him being on the team is that like his stigma about a player, or about how he plays with his decision making and what he does on lane, like that's a problem that championship caliber teams have to deal with, not like middle of the pack. Like Kyler's positives far outweigh that for this OpTic team specifically. Like I don't think they're gonna compete for championships barring a fucking just turn up to the event and black out kind of thing, like how they did last year in Toronto. But I think that Kyler has been their best player when he's on the team the majority of the season. Obviously with like Ant and Bruce earlier, but Kyler's been the same for them. I think Caesar's just doing what he has to do. I don't think he's really stood out in much for me, but if he's just facilitating things and doing what he needs to do, I'm fine with it as long as he's not getting shit on. But Kyler has been the most impressive player on this team for me for a while now.
I feel like they just play good COD when he's in. Like, he makes such good decisions. Like, you
can tell that Ant really enjoys it. Like Ant,
yeah.
From roster change to Kyler, even when they played it with him the first time, the way that he plays is so different. It's like he talks about it all the time in every interview. He just gasses the fuck out of Kyler and how they play together, and it's evident on the map.
So many moments where
you guys like OpTic's schedule this split is really easy. They can't, obviously they don't get to control that, but like, do you like that for OpTic, that this is really after that really poor Major 2 stretch, confidence a little bit low, they get this kind of fairly easy stretch? They got Miami and Vegas this week, and then FaZe. Like, you get 4 matches that are very winnable. They can build confidence going into the major. Do you like that, or you think maybe they limit test too much and get decentered from where they need to be tactically or to actually win a chip?
No, I don't think it matters that much. I think them having a mid-pack schedule and then playing. I think FaZe being last is actually important though, because like you get a good stretch for reps and just like figuring out map pool and all that kind of stuff, and then you get to have a genuine test before the major. So I think it's good as long as they don't get fucking 3-0 in 12 minutes by FaZe. I think that how their schedule panned out pre-event is ideal.
Teams need to ban Vault against OpTic on hardpoint, bro. Like if we don't start auto banning,
who just played them on it, Chelly?
C9 beat them actually.
250 to what was it? 250 to 100.
They beat them in Scrims on it yesterday. I was laughing my ass off about it.
We're done.
I don't know, man, but we got to start banning Vault against OpTic if we want a chance at beating them in a HP.
Lord Lad said that Rocker beat them on Vault, but the only thing I'll say about Vault hardpoint and Scrims is his first map in a Scrim, and like
Bundies aren't on, bro.
Yeah, so that's why I was like,
first map and last 2 maps are irrelevant in Scrims.
They're not irrelevant.
The second set controls are
also, second set controls get real dicey.
Also, Rocker one of the best Vault teams for HP too.
I just think with their Vault right now, Brandon's very confident on that map. Both their subs are very confident on the map. Caesar fills gaps well. They actually rotate on that map. Like I think, as far as OpTic strengths, they very much exist on that map. So
bro, they just got it down, bro. They're always flipping when they need to flip. Who's making a play? Ant pulls out an AR on rotation P4, and he's just so annoying. Like, that team, I would never play them on that map.
Well, we can move on.
OpTic heavily favored in that Miami series, though, for sure.
Are we all on OpTic? No one picking the Miami upset?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
I think Miami was a search, though.
Okay.
Really?
Last series, I don't think we need to spend too much time on this. Vancouver Surge, LAG. Does anyone want to make any kind of argument for LAG? Or are we feeling a hot?
Not even gonna try.
I like Vegas better than LAG.
Really? I completely disagree with that.
I like Vegas better than LAG.
Well, explain that one.
I think the LAG team is terrible, bro.
Why do you think they're terrible?
I just feel like in every game mode, like, I don't have any faith in them across literally anything. I look at the team and I just don't see any chem. I mean, I like Ojani, like, I like him as a player. I would think, like, I thought the duo of like him and Kismet would be like good in search, but I feel like Leaders is too slow. I don't know. There's just so many problems I see with this roster. I don't know. I don't think that, like, they need everybody to be frying at the exact same time in order for it to work. I feel like Kismet's in hell on this team.
I disagree entirely. I
think, you like this team?
I love it compared to their last team. I like Johnny, and I think, like, granted, they've only played 1 series, which, I mean, they threw the fuck out of that. Was a protocol hardpoint against Ravens. They threw the fuck out of that, but They played decently in that series, better than I expected them to. I think Johnny's disgusting. He was gross last year.
Johnny's good. I like Johnny.
Yeah, he deserves to play right now. I think Fellow and Lunars, obviously they worked well in challengers together. There's still some growing pains there for the league pacing. I do agree there, but I think Kiz is having much more fun on this team than he was his last team for sure. I just think like, I don't know. I liked what I saw. Maybe you and I are looking at different shit, but I think for their first series and how they played, there's a lot more improvement there than I was expecting. At least off the rip. But I think they're still bad. Don't get me wrong.
It just depends on where Carolina truly is for how you evaluate the LAG performance.
That was my next point. Like, is Carolina just completely shit and LAG playing them close was more of an indicator of that, or is LAG getting better? You know what I mean?
But I guess I was more so talking about the construction of the roster. I hate the AR duo of Lunars and Fellow, but
They fried in challengers.
yeah.
But yeah, I think I got Vancouver like 3-1, maybe 3-0.
I feel that way. Do you agree, Chelly? 3-0, 3-1?
Yeah, I'll probably go 3-0. Yeah.
All right,
And the reason I said I like Vegas better is because I know everybody hates the AR duo of RCDs and Priesta, but the one thing I will say about those guys is like they will play fast. Like they will try to keep up pace with Pred and Exit, which I see it panning out better.
well, speaking of LAG and Vegas, they do play on Saturday as well. Here are our matches. We'll dive in. We got Atlanta
That's
face
a banger.
1-1 versus the Miami Heretics. We got Vegas versus OpTic. We're gonna start with that one.
Oh, they don't play each other?
Boston LAG and then Cloud9 Thieves. Yeah, I was saying, but they're both playing on the same day.
Damn, this day sucks too.
Well, I want to start with this one.
Damn.
This day sucks, but I will say
Sunday is good at least.
I will say this match, the AG revenge match, OpTic facing both their former players, the split is very funny, but Vegas plus 600 apparently on Thunderpick right now.
Really? Should be plus 2,000.
I mean, yeah. Does anyone want to make an argument for an AG 1.5 takeover?
No. He could have it. They'll still lose.
Yeah, they'll still lose.
I have no faith in that. I have no faith in that Falcons team,
They just get diffed in the series.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like, I think OpTic's good. Like, I know like the revenge arc for AG, but I think OpTic's going to be going just as hard to beat him.
Yeah, they just get gapped. Vegas just get gapped, bro.
Yeah, the thing with Vegas, and we were talking about the last couple episodes, like you obviously want to play good at Major 3, Major 4, but they're not going to champs. And the real way that you generate long-term momentum in the franchise is by having that finishing the season strong with let's say a top 8 or make a semifinal appearance at EWC, and then use that to build on upgrades to the roster going into next season. Because logically, I just don't see with the talent on this roster right now and challengers how they could just suddenly make a top 6 team like out of thin air. But like, yeah, I mean, you guys feel pretty confident they're going to find a series win.
Well, it's tough. I mean, they'll
win a series. They'll win a series somewhere. They'll find one somewhere, but it's not going to matter who it's going to be. Like LAG
FaZe left.
OpTic FaZe Boston.
Yeah, they're not winning the series to split. But
not this split. No,
well, maybe at the event we'll see who their draw is.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I just think even with the AG revenge angle, it's just hard for me with how OpTic's playing to see Vegas kill this one unless OpTic just decide not to show up.
Oh my God, Vegas is scheduled the rest of the year is all the top 4 teams. Like,
no, that's criminal. But like,
my God,
they had an easy split. They had an easier set off the rip, and they blew it. Cloud9, Minnesota, Miami, Thieves, and FaZe, which is tough because C9, Minnesota, and Miami are all fighting for champs qualification. And Thieves and FaZe, those last 2 matches might be experimenting, but like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to toss. So yeah, no. It's just hard to find online wins.
It was horrible, bro.
Lock in for EWC.
They should have done what they're doing right now at the beginning of the season with actual talent and let their MENA players play in challengers.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw their statement they put out this week where they talked about that and that they're committed to this 2-track of like they're putting it as competitive
they're just 6 months
roster.
late. They're 6 months late.
Yeah,
it was what we were all saying. Like
but here's what I'd argue.
Came into the league.
Here's what I'd argue. I would say that they probably should have. It was clear probably in the beginning of Major 2 that this wasn't going to work, so they were off by 3 or 4 weeks. But I feel like this is always a natural progression of this team. Like I
feel like it was clear when they joined the league. You know.
I think
I don't know about you guys. I
assumed when they made the team that they were going to get the guys in here early. What didn't help their situation is that they got to America late, like the visa situation, and they were.
I don't think that played a part at all.
I mean, it played a part in the sense of that they lost 2 weeks of practice. I don't know
No,
if they
they
would
were
have
getting
practically
slammed
been
early.
2 weeks in the grand scheme
Yeah,
of
but
that team is not going to change anything.
heard. They were never going to be good off the rip, Sam. But I always thought that like by the Major 2 cycle, they would have some kind of bite. And then they cycle through the players, and next thing's the one that really.
No, what they should have done though, realistically, Ben, is they should have had them come over here, had an actual pro team, and let those guys play in NA Challengers for a bit.
That's
and
what that's what I said.
And then you'll see where like what you have in them. But
I think
it
that
is
would have
what
been
it is.
ideal. I think that would have been ideal, but I don't think they would have.
I mean, that's what they're doing now. Like that was the
Yeah.
natural progression of things, but they just wanted to like force feed us this all MENA team and put themselves 6 months behind.
I would say, to be fair, that MENA team that was together for a while, I assume they wanted to give those guys a chance in the pro league. Clearly,
Yeah, and I respect
that.
that.
That was the
They
thought
didn't know.
process. Like they
I
probably
understand.
started playing those guys.
but
Well,
like
they were not good. Like
it's a
you know what I'm saying?
rock and a hard place because I do agree that those guys played well together and they had been a team for a while. So you obviously want to take that team to the league with your spot. But at the same time, if you're looking at just the grand scheme of the CDL and competitive integrity and all of that kind of shit, they shouldn't have stepped anywhere near a starting roster.
Yeah,
So
and it
it's
hurts.
a rock and a hard place.
It's easy. I will say, I hear what you're saying, Sam. It's easy to say that in hindsight, having seen what we saw for fucking 8 weeks, 9 weeks.
That's not hindsight. I was saying this shit in the offseason. I tweeted it when the roster got announced that like this team is bad, and I didn't know. I think I ended the tweet with something I'm paraphrasing along the lines of like, I don't understand the trajectory, like where they're trying to go with the team because they didn't play Respawn, and now they're like Clay is tweeting that they don't know how to play Respawn 4, 5, 6 months into the game cycle. Like this is shit that we knew. This isn't hindsight. This is stuff that we called months before. This isn't new information.
I mean, if they're in challengers and they're frying, and then like stage 3, the team's underperforming, you go, we're gonna bring up Xnid.
That's when you're like, all right, like our year's fucked.
I understand.
Let's give the kid a shot.
I found your tweet, Sam. You tweeted ha 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 ha. Then Gwynner responded,
What
"What's
did I
funny?"
end with? What did I end with? What did I end the tweet with?
Gwynner responded, "What's funny, LaRue? I like laughs." And you said the standings at the end of next year.
There you go. Nah, there was that wasn't the tweet I was referencing, but W
That's
me.
funny.
W me. And here we are. And here we fucking
Here
are,
we
bro.
are.
They haven't won a series.
Well, listen, at this point, they're playing for UWC. I think
course.
they are due. Obviously, we all agree. But I think they found Xnid. I think Xnid definitely has got some talent.
But they actually low key might end this season with a donut.
They'll find
funny
some
'cause-
wins. They're gonna find some
I
wins,
mean-
I believe.
They're
Nameless,
not
you know
winning more than
their,
one. I think they'll probably win one.
They're
But
gonna,
Versus
that
season
land
long.
win's
If
gonna
they
hit
play
different.
LAG, I think they can beat them.
That
Yeah.
land
what
win's
I'm saying.
hitting
It's gotta
different,
be-
bro.
I mean, shit, they almost beat Miami.
Yeah, that's true.
Ben, you remember what their season long win total was? For
3.5.
it was 4.5. 4.5.
4.5.
The under cleared.
Damn,
Slam
everybody
the
probably
under.
took the over. Everybody had to have
Slam
taken
the
the over, right?
100%.
Slammed it.
Let's
Wait, who made that line? They're a genius.
Prize picks.
Oh no, it's a 365. Bet
Prize
365.
picks. Go ahead, Ben.
I
What's
got
our next
honestly
series?
bet 365. Anyway, let's move on because none of us are picking Vegas. Let's talk FaZe Miami. FaZe 1-1. They dropped that series to Toronto, but they looked pretty good against Carolina in that series. Then on the Miami side, we just talked about them. These guys have matched a bunch before, but usually Miami just got kind of talent diffed by FaZe, and it's usually a 3-0 or a 3-1. You guys just see any path for Miami here, or
We've hit the boring
Not-
part of the year.
Not with Miami's hardpoint taking a dip, no. Because like FaZe are still, even with FaZe like dropping the hardpoint here, they're still going to be better than them at that game mode, and they're like Control is just an auto loss in this series for Miami.
Yep.
Like no chance. And then so is Search, basically.
You're playing FaZe on Hasi or Proto. Praying to God Miami don't play them on Proto, so it's going to be Hasi, and even then, I just have FaZe winning it without a doubt in my mind.
If this was the old Miami roster, like I think they have more of a chance just because they were better at HP. But
the person in my chat who said want to see FaZe play Dealership, I think it was in one of these series and just didn't get played. I think it was in the.
I wouldn't be surprised if FaZe are experimenting a little bit here.
They're
No, it wasn't
probably,
either. I take that back. I think they'll
think they
probably
should
go
play it here.
FaZe have
Dealership
never
over
played
one.
Rewind?
They don't
They don't
do
play
it.
it. Yeah,
That is very interesting to me.
they played Rewind Hardpoint a bunch, but they never played Search. They didn't like it.
That's going to be annoying for them unless they figure that out.
Well, if they play Hasi Search and they dodge Rewind, like it's not.
Yeah, but
You're
Hasi's still a pain point for them as well. That was the
Yeah.
thing.
They looked
That's-
better in that one Hasi they played. I mean, they got off to a slow start against Toronto, but they what they
Yeah,
full
their
came
mid-maps were
back on
good.
that one.
Yeah,
So
that was a checkout series though.
So
Like, if they
gotta
play-
find one or the other basically. It's either
if they
rewind
play-
or that.
Yeah, if they play Thieves, like they gotta. There's some potential issues with FaZe's game right now.
Yeah, but Thieves also got to find a way to get to them too. I think on both sides they both have
Good
issues.
point.
I think FaZe will probably be willing to play Dealership though. Dealership should fit to a T how they play. So.
Right now, that match would be electric.
I hate the way the teams have been playing Dealership. This isn't really a right now conversation because I could get into it, but bro, the way the teams have been playing that map so far, it seems like everyone like scrimmed each other at the start to like figure out how the map would flow, but no one's like adjusted yet. So everyone's just doing the same shit every round because like that's what they've been doing in scrims, but there's no like adjustments mid map yet. And I fucking hate it.
More
Like you know
cheating up to their bomb or something.
like you know is B bomb the courtyard one?
I think
it is. Regardless, the courtyard bomb, the tree one. Like teams will plant that and then just back up into P2, and then Ben was tweaking about it. Like, how do you check bomb?
Yeah,
How do you play a post plant without committing to a gunfight? Like when teams start figuring out how to late play mid on offense for either site, to be honest with you, because I think Falcons like had an obsession with late flanking with AG for some reason. It was horrible.
I was tweaking, by
Dude,
the way,
they were egregious with it, but like I think they're barking up the right tree at least. Like teams are 4v4 post planning that bomb site with no way to check it, and it goes for the other one as well. You can't check the bomb on this map without committing to a gunfight, and I think the teams are just refusing to late play bombs right now or late play mid. Like
Sam,
if you deny mid window with like 30, 25 seconds left, the round's unwinnable for
I feel
defense.
like who was it I watched? Was it Boston? They were kind of doing that.
Maybe I don't remember.
It's like
but they
Cammy
weren't
and
like
Purge,
they
too.
weren't like really like. I think you can do so much in middle map to bait and switches. Like you can fly out the
Froze with fear.
you can fly out the closet and back the guy down into like the control room area and
because
then
you beat a
hop
mid
window.
on offense.
If
You have him by a second mid.
Yeah, like if you catch like
you
a
actually
big
wanna-
gamble stack, you can cut them off middle. Like I think teams are going to learn how to take two halves of the map on offense.
Ben, do you remember how FaZe would play London Docks with Preston on B? He would just solo
Just sit
play
on
every
the
round.
fucking stairs the
He
entire
was
round.
he would solo play
Yeah.
on offense. He would solo plant the bomb. I actually think that is how Dealership is going to end up panning out, because the blind counter for defense for that site is to just like run to the bomb and play that little shit crack angle into P2. And if you don't see anything on offense, if you're on the other side of that angle, team just insta plant, because in order to deny the site, you have to chow. Like if you just solo send bomb guy there and 3 stack mid, you get a post and you have mid control, the round's over. Every time.
I think there's a lot of development in the meta on that map. I think that
there's
map
gonna
actually
there's going to be a lot.
seems pretty
I
awesome.
just don't know if they challenge you mid though. It just becomes so.
Well, you beat
mixy.
a mid is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the gunfights are much more favorable than having
Still
like you got a
fight it,
P2 arches for like deny the post. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's a whole
You
other.
beat
Because
them
the way
there, but,
Mini was playing it, they would plan just all drop back.
Yeah, I think that sucks.
I
You
think-
just hot bomb, bro, and what are you gonna do? You have to.
I
Just
kind of like
jump
what Thieves were doing when they played it. Kind of Paco playing pretty aggressive and like those sons and nades over sending your SMGs up front and like
push out spawn. Yeah,
They
I
were
think
also
it's
2-2 in it. Like they would double chow mill. Like one would come from like the big lobby area, and one would sit in that closet door, and they double chow the guy who's like on the table. So
yeah, Boston. I don't even know if they won, but I remember watching them, and I just loved like so on their defensive rounds they would send Cammy and Purge like straight through mid, like bait and switch it, just like get info and like slow them down, and then once they figured out where they're going, they all ran back and just banged it together. Like I like that. I think there's different ways you can play it.
there is for sure. I think that map's gonna be a big skill gap at the major. Like whoever gets ahead on that map is just gonna be farming people.
P-Dog was making me lose full on his dealership S&D, bro. I think every offense, he'd just jump on that car in the little showroom and shoot open the door and just stare at the top window. And he wouldn't move. I swear he did it every single offense, bro.
AG was pissing me off. I rage tweeted about it.
well, let's
The late flanks, he was obsessed with it, bro.
let's move on to what is probably going to be a must-win match for both teams, Boston and LAG. Boston got off to a 3-0 victory versus Toronto Ultra. Though I'll put an asterisk on that one because it seems like
Why?
Toronto was complaining about internet in that series. I don't know, a little bit of an asterisk, maybe unwarranted. I don't know. Then they lost the game 5 round 11 to Minnesota. So I think Boston probably a better spot than LAG, considering the LAG didn't win their debut
Probably.
match. You think this is probably a Boston victory, or you think maybe they pendulum
Got a
swings it
game
away?
5 LAG upset.
Really?
Boston are winning the series, bro.
LAG upset.
Boston are underrated.
Why do you think LAG upset Sam?
Dope. I don't know.
Absolute vibes. We're just
No, I think LG wins the series for no analytical reason whatsoever. I just feel it in my heart.
Boston are an underrated team, bro. Rewind getting added back helps Boston tremendously. They've always been a solid HP team. You get rid of both of their worst maps. I mean, they were like 3-6, I think, on Skyline when I looked. I don't have it in front of me, but they were 1-1 on Vault, so they vetoed it a lot. And them like showing dealership I was talked about, like they look good on it, and their rewind is really solid. I think that helps them a lot, like just between search and hardpoint, just be their control. If they could figure out their control, they could actually like have like a little bit of a run. Like I could see them getting top 4 if their control improved.
Definitely more upside
Legit.
than LAG. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. Like, it just depends on the draw they get in bracket, but I could see
It
them
depends
winning a
on
couple
if they
games.
show up or not, bro. It just depends when they're peaking or if they're valuing. I think like having the way that Wake and Cam have been playing right now is a good opportunity for points, which I think this is an absolute, without a doubt, unequivocal must win for Boston for champs. This series, like you could say it's a must win for LG, but let's be honest with ourselves. I think if Boston doesn't win this series, things could get real weird for them going forward for champs. I know it's only 10 points, but at the end of the season, which I think champs is going to come down to Major 4, this 10 points could be life or death for them. So I think this is huge.
Boston have won all I guess the Toronto one doesn't really count, but I mean, they have been winning their controls lately. Ben or Chelly, do you guys know their record on Skyline Search, what it was?
Who, Boston?
Yeah, I think it was really bad.
3-6 on Skyline.
Yeah, so like, dude, that's such a big change for them.
Yeah.
I just think at best they're in the spot they finished at the last event. They're top 6. Like I don't think they're good enough to win 2 winners bracket matches and back into like a top 3, like pull Minnesota Rocket from the last couple of years. I just think they're good to win 1 land series, maybe 2 in losers bracket, but they all 4 need to show up on a given day, and I just don't think that consistently happens, especially against better teams. But LAG, I don't think LAG aren't that good, and I want to see them actually like. Maybe these team changes have made their search better, but I'm very concerned with this team comp in respawn, especially in our.
I'm not out on Boston, bro. Cammy's been playing well.
Him and Giga. But I just want to tip cap to Boston, bro. I feel like there was a lot of discussion that they should make a roster change, and they stuck with it. And now we have Cammy and Giga. I feel like we were not seeing enough production, enough slang from either of them, and they've both kind of taken turns, either one of them popping off in respawn. So I kind of want to tip cap to Boston because a lot of these guys feel like they, people were saying to blow it up, get some new ARs in there, get some fresh blood, maybe Purge, get them out of there. But I honestly can see this team kicking up on LAN as well. Purge looked great at Major 2. And then obviously Kama and Giga, both guys who can turn up
beat them
on
in Major 2?
Vancouver.
Toronto.
Or was it Toronto? Toronto, yeah, it was.
Yeah, but you remember, and that's what I brought up why I thought they would beat Toronto, is that Skyline, they were beating the shit out of them.
Was it the team kill?
Yeah, the team kill came in on P4 or P4. They played it again. But I will say, this is one of the situations, to your point, Chelly, where I think like the commitment to the roster and just kind of letting them know, like, we're riding this out with you for the year, has given the players comfortability to just actually focus on their game. And we're seeing like an improvement in like individual performance. Like sometimes like that stress relief on you can help you as a team, I think. So we'll see if they can actually rally and make this run for champs.
Yeah, they need these points.
Everybody on Boston?
LAG.
Not Sam.
Sam's on
I'm a
LAG.
Boston hater.
He's like, Boston look good, LAG in 5.
I'm a Boston hater.
Let's move on to this one. I thought that going into last week I would have highlighted this match, but Cloud9 LA Thieves. What's up with C9, man? Really poor result last week. I know they kind of have been in the blender schedule with as far as the teams. You see the last 5 opponents: OpTic, Thieves, FaZe, Toronto. FaZe is like not the easiest draw. Only 1 match for Thieves last week was a nice clean 3-0 victory over the Vancouver Surge. You guys see any hope for C9, or you think these guys are really in trouble not making chance? We'll start with you, Chelly.
Let me know when we're ready to have the Dylan attach conversation and we can talk.
We have it right now, brother. The floor is yours.
I mean, at what point do these guys want to be hanging with the top teams, and at what point do they want to stay top 6?
He got had on land, bro.
He's I don't know if he's not keeping up with the pace of his team or just the game's too fast, but he's not keeping up with his team. I feel like Mac, even like I was talking about Mac and Attach on a couple last episodes, Mac's even kind of picked it up a little bit. I don't know what the answer is, but I do think the first step for this team is to get rid of Attach. And People aren't
I
gonna
think-
like that, but I like Dylan. He's a great kid. I think he's awesome, but I mean, shit.
Dylan Control's numbers are actually pretty good. S&D saw it as well, but if you look at
It's
his
not
hard
just
point-
him though, bro. It's not just Dylan. Bro, the bar for some reason, every other team that has like a good roster, we set the bar so high. The bar for the SMG duo on this team is set so low. I feel like Kremp, in my opinion, needs to take a step as well. Like if they're going to be beating these teams, we need to see a better Kremp and Mac. Dill has not been good. I'm not saying Dill's not the main issue here. I'm just saying the bar, it seems like for those SMGs has just been set so low. Like for a lot of these matches, it's Sib taking over, and then Kremp in the search has a really good S&D, and then you're like, all right, Kremp's unbelievable.
But here's the problem: is they get exposed when Dante in that OpTic
They
series
can't win hardpoint.
played awful, and he's also been struggling in hard points against better teams as of late. I'll show you his stats, and again, it's a really tough draw, but it's his Dante stats in his last 5 series. And you see that, yeah, he had good hard points against FaZe. They lost the Toronto 3-0 on LAN. I got to tip their cap. That was a nice victory. But on the weekend, did not play good against Thieves and FaZe and then OpTic. Like, I agree with you, Mac and Kremp are very feast or famine at times, but this AR duo, again, is not playing good. They're playing like they were at the beginning of Major 1. I mean, I kind of agree with Chelly. I just think they just got to they kind of missed the mark maybe to shuffle things up and try and keep things fresh.
Where do you guys put that sub duo in the league?
Oof.
Kremp and Mac. Honestly, like think about it.
Look at the
They're
names.
below the top. So below FaZe.
Are you
below,
taking Estrio Nero above Kremp and Mac right now?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Are
And
you
also
taking?
Purge and Snoopy, I would say.
I would take Purge and Snoopy over them. It's close. It's very
That's
close.
close.
It's
That's
really
close.
It's really close.
I'm gonna take Kremp and Mac over them. I think.
Okay,
But again,
fair
Boston hater.
Are you taking Real Metals?
No.
No, fuck no.
I can see that.
Chelly's the world's biggest
I mean,
metals hater.
Real has to
Dude,
1v2
I'm not a
that.
metals hater. I just hate that they.
Real has to 1v2 that. He's not. I mean.
All right, but you're taking Toronto's duo, LA's duo, OpTic's duo. You're taking Surge's
Carolina,
duo.
I see we're
You're
taking-
You're probably taking Carolina's duo.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
taking Carolina as well.
Yep. You're taking what else
Joe,
we
Joe
got?
and Toby.
Can I say something? This is
Yeah.
mainly because of Mac, by the way. I'm a big Kremp guy.
I
I'm
think
very
Kremp's-
high on
I
Kremp.
I like Kremp, but I don't think he's the. What was Tom calling him yesterday? Just the bull mask takeover. Is that the nickname he was telling? He's calling the bull mask. I don't think Kremp is that guy. I like him. I love his game though.
I will say he has been very good at S&D this year. He's been actually
Yeah,
excellent.
He has an
search.
argument for the best search player in the game.
Yeah, and
But you're
his
2
control
and
is
8.
good.
Nah, TJ, bro. But you're 2-8.
TJ, it ain't
You're
even TJ.
You're 2-8 in hardpoint, and like you've been getting
They
bodied.
won
in that
1
game.
HP on land this year, and it was the one where Dante and Attach popped off on a rock hill
Yeah,
on
that's-
Hossie.
Their subs and hardpoint.
Exactly,
are
it was,
the
wasn't it?
issue.
Where they got
Yeah,
like
that was the only HP on land they've won.
I
They got,
just think,
like, 8
look,
kills in a
we're,
row.
we're highlighting the problem with C9. It's stale, especially in hardpoint. And look, they got a nice kind of buffer from everybody because of schedule cheese. Admittedly, they got a Major 2, but like I think they had a huge opportunity to shovel things up after the last event. They didn't. And now they got stale as bread making fucking day old French toast. And maybe it tastes good, maybe it doesn't, but right now they're outside
What
the
are you
champs
saying,
conversation.
bro?
I don't know.
I'm trying to like.
I was trying to keep the analogy going.
What are
but
you
we
saying,
got-
I was
we
trying
got-
to figure out like what the next steps for the C9 team would be if they did drop Dill. And I've seen a couple people in chat say Brack. I don't know if it would be
No,
Brack or if it
hell
could be
no.
even a role swap.
Dib's not
like
going to
Matt.
team with Bragg.
Bracken Dante AR duo is just not a good fit. I think what they need is they need to move Dante to like they need to get an undeniable flex. That's why I thought the Capsule idea wasn't terrible because Cap, and I've seen it in challengers this year, like he can go and like actually hit a lot of pace and play both ways. I think it would give them a new dynamic. They need to play with decent.
I agree
speed.
with that, Ben. Like if they had another like our flex player who
Yeah.
even with the AR can play mad aggressive, and that might help take some pressure off those SMGs. I think
Because I like Brack. I don't. This is not the team I put Brack on though. Like you know what I'm saying. Like I think he deserves a shot. I just don't think this would be the spot.
Mac is pretty solid at red card, and he brings out the AR. And I'll tell you what, that dude's got a beamer with it. I wouldn't be too opposed to Mac going to flex,
and then get a bull mask.
and then bringing a sub, bringing like
Yeah.
a guy from Challenge.
This team does have options, which is good.
They're really funny because like everybody's got a weak game. Like I don't know if you guys watch Mac in Control, but like he is really struggling that game mode pretty much all year.
I mean, he's
both
always
sides.
been that type of guy, right?
Yeah,
I think he's actually taken a more of a step towards consistency this year. It's just not enough.
Last I checked, yeah, I have it pulled up. He's near the bottom of the league in control KD, 49th.
Damn.
I don't know with the C9 team. I think they missed their mark on the change, and they have a very tough draw. And yeah, they may not have pack a punch at a right time, and I assume nobody here has them against Thieves, right? They see
Four teams aren't making champs, right? And
I think C9's one of them.
yeah, I think they're in that position for sure.
I think it's LAG, Falcons, C9, and then whoever starts to trend downwards.
Miami.
Miami's in the convo for sure.
come down Miami, Boston, Chiefs, probably a major four, but
Dude, they have like no points from online, bro.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, let's move on. We got 3 more matches on Sunday to talk about, and then we can wrap this.
Yo,
Minnesota,
Joe.
Cloud9, Vancouver, Carolina, and Thieves, Toronto. Let's start with Thieves, Toronto. This one could be a nice one we see maybe on a major 3 Saturday, winners round 2 type situation. Toronto obviously plays better than Thieves and had their number when they played on LAN only a few weeks ago, where Thieves decided not to log on Sunday and got 3-0 smoked off the server in 20 minutes. Sam, you think the guys on Thieves are motivated to try and revenge in this one, or you think the quality play, especially from Ben Beans and from JoeDeceives, is going to give Thieves all they can handle in this one?
I'm not picking anyone to beat LAT online. Ever.
Yeah, they're insane, bro.
They're just online fucking merchants from Dallas.
I mean,
these days.
regardless, I obviously I think they have the capability of winning events, and they were 1 round away from doing so, but they're undeniable online. I'd pick them to beat FaZe online. So.
I might take, I don't know, man. I might take OpTic.
Wait, what?
OpTic,
That's what I'm
the
saying.
fuck?
No, that's what he said. I'm never taking anybody to beat LA Thieves online.
You think you'd pick OpTic over LAT?
And
right
I'm saying I might take OpTic because they're insane online too. I think it's like
they're undefeated with Kyler on the team in
yeah,
qualifier.
that's the
They're
only other
undefeated,
team
they're
I
9-0.
think. Yeah, that's ridiculous. And I think what Thieves are on a 8-win streak online now.
Yeah,
Or
8-win streak.
yeah, it's crazy. So
Sam, you know what I'm gonna say about this series?
Go ahead, man.
You remember what my big qualm was with that LA Thieves Toronto series Major 2? Remember what I was complaining about first episode back?
What were you saying?
Why are they playing Protocol HP, bro?
yeah,
It's
you were
your
tweeting about
auto
that.
veto.
Yeah,
Play
you're
them on
tweaking.
Skyline, bro. Ultra, I get that Ultra are good at Skyline, but they are not unbeatable.
They've been losing
they
some
just
Skylines
lost it.
recently.
Well, that
happened, though.
I'm not counting that. That was kind of cheese. But
Yeah,
they
but they
did
should,
lose
they
the,
should have lost to Boston at the event, and then Boston.
I think they
fucking
did
double
lose to
team
Boston
killed.
at the event.
no,
No,
they
they did. They
won.
almost
No,
won.
they didn't.
They came
Double
back.
team kill, but then Boston beat them online like last week. So
But yeah,
I mean,
just
it
really hope.
also comes down to how comfortable LAT is on it as well. You know, like they've played some fucking grueler Skylines.
I
Plus, there's
I like their Skyline though.
It's not bad, but it's just not good. Like they have this fascination with this like Paco fucking kitchen pinch on P1 that never works, and they flip themselves every time. Like they don't play clean Skylines. The rotations are always like just super fucky.
I just
every
know
time.
Envoy loves that map, bro. And for me,
Yeah,
I'm
every
like,
sub player loves a Skyline, bro.
bro, he's so good on Skyline.
Yeah, it's not like a map that I'd love to see in a series for them, and especially against the Toronto team. Even if they are down, like trending down on it, that's just my philosophy on it, though. I just don't value that map for their pool right now. But again, if they're just gonna get their asses waxed on Protocol, then why not try it out?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. What's so? That
yeah,
match and then what's
do any of you guys? I do think that Toronto make this an interesting Game 5 series. I do think Thieves will probably win a Game 5. But Toronto are also pretty good online. I don't know what the fuck happened against Boston and the breakdown afterwards. Hopefully
Weren't they
there's been some
really good
resolution
at?
there.
They were undefeated on Skyline and Vault Search. Both got removed. That's not good for them. And like they are 5-4 on Red Card, 3-4 on Hossie, 0-1 on Dealership. Like their search map pool just got decimated.
Yeah.
Dude, at the mate, like look, and if you look like recently, they've been playing a fuck ton of Skyline, bro. It's
They
like
did-
where because they didn't play it throughout all of like stage 1, and then they just started. They learned that they were dominant on it.
They're at Toronto?
Yeah.
It was just it was in series, it was just not it was never getting there. But like they did try Dealership last week. I'm trying to remember how that Dealership
Lost to
went.
Boston.
They lost to Boston on it. Maybe we'll see
That's what
them
I'm saying though. You had
try-
2 undefeated search maps.
trying to remember if
They're
they played
gone.
Rewind. I don't think they did. But yeah, they're
never played
definitely
Rewind.
like losing Skyline and Valhar S&D is something they're gonna have to overcome with their map pool because I think their proto S&D is actually pretty good. That's a good bread and butter map for them. But the
it
Hossie
is
S&D I think is
Yeah, they've liked that all year.
But all right, so Proto gets deleted, and then it's like, all right, what are we playing? Red Card's a good map for a lot of teams. So is Hossie. You know what I mean?
That's probably gonna be both searches right there in this series, to be honest.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think this one could be a banger, but I think these will pull it out, but it could go the distance. We got 2 more series on Sunday. This one's also another really good one on Sunday, and one potentially we could see at the major. Vancouver versus Carolina.
Is that your mic, Chelly?
That's Ant. That's Ant.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
There's the garbage trucks outside.
Vancouver versus Carolina. They did play at the major, I believe. Yep, and Vancouver 3-0 smoked them. But you gotta think with Carolina's S&D, Vancouver is not the world's greatest search team. Maybe there's an angle here for Carolina. Sam, do you agree, or you think Vancouver?
I'm out on Ravens.
You're fully out.
Dude, Sam, bro.
What?
Just do that, man. You gotta
What?
You don't think they have a shot against Vancouver?
I mean, it's online. Everyone has a shot at everybody. But if I'm looking at this series as, for my opinions on the teams, I'm sorry. I think everything that happened with them pre-stage 3 chalked their fucking team. And
Okay,
they
so
went
what's the
and they
next
went
step?
into the hardest. You just fucking try and show up to the major, see what happens. Or you make the change now, whichever. I mean, they're guaranteed losers. They play FaZe, Vancouver, and LAT this split. They're going to lose all 3, in my opinion. You're going into maybe you win your losers 1 and you bow out top 8. I mean, I'm just not convinced on the team. Like you had one issue with Gwyn not being half the player he is online, and now you have the second issue in which your team chem is fucked because you tried to drop your second best LAN player to make an upgrade for the guy that
And
you
the third
cannot
issue,
do, and then whatever Ant's about to say.
the control, Sam, can't forget.
Their control sucks, which is Ben's point at the beginning of the season that he called. Yeah, I'm just out on Ravens, bro. I was super high on them for weeks in preseason, all the way up to stage 2. I picked them to make a final at stage 2, and I saw again the way that they showed up and how Gwyn plays, and I'm just out on the team. I am.
How Gwyn plays.
Sam put his
He's a
neck on the
liner.
line, and
He is a liner. I am sorry, bro.
This is
Gwyn
so
is
funny.
a liner.
There hasn't been that many liners. There's one.
A liner.
The only one that got to this level was Blast.
Blast, yeah.
ooh, blast and Destiny.
And probably Decimate too. And there's not many, but there have been
He
people
is
like
one
this.
of them.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Last year, I gave him some grace because it was his rookie season and his team was fucking pissed dog shit online. So I thought he was in like weird territory when he showed up to events and Clay and Fellow were getting kills. But this year, it's what Ant said, bro. He's on the most consistent team he's ever been on with great players, with good veteran leadership and a solid core. Great at search. Like, there's no excuses this year. I'm sorry. There's nothing to hide behind for not performing, especially the fact that you average a 1-2 online. That's inexcusable, man.
Yeah, you would by now I feel like we would have seen one takeover game. But even last year when that team was playing well, like the Clay and Fellow team, like he would go to LAN and still have this huge drop off.
Yeah, he'd have like a 0.9 to 1.
Yeah. And like
100%.
and I wouldn't Clay's my boy. I hear him say it. I'm like, you guys just aren't good. And then as time goes on, I'm like, no, Clay was right. Like 100%.
Like
right.
I think it's obviously a mental thing for sure. But like I think once he comes over this hurdle, if he ever does, I think he's going to be fucking undeniable. Man.
Yeah, he will be.
The way that he runs over like good ass teams online, like he plays fucking insane COD. Okay. And if he has, whether it be a performance coach or just some third party thing to help him out, to get him in the right headspace to just play how he does at home, bro, he is going to be a fucking top 5 player. He runs it the fuck down online and he shits on everybody. It's infuriating.
Yeah, Gwen's,
hate it.
Gwen's an interesting dude, man.
He's gross, dude. I'm such a big Gwyn fan, but
like
he's
outside the game, he's an interesting dude.
It's even crazier how much better his team around him gets better on land too. Like some of these guys just flip a switch on land. It's just
Tej and Austin, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
Reese was obviously. I think Reese was genuinely their second best player on land this season.
I mean,
up
he
to that
takes
point.
the biggest backseat imaginable. He changed his roles.
That's what I'm saying, and he still shows the fuck up, and he fried, bro. He played
That's
with one
crazy.
eye at Major 1, and he was their best player.
And
Like,
That's crazy.
When he fries, bro, like they always lose. So
Yeah.
it's like, bro,
Yeah,
fuck, man.
true.
Like,
like I don't. it's insane because I don't think this is the sole reason for them not finding success on LAN. But bro, when you're running around with an excess of kills and a guy that's averaging 35 in respawn, like I'm not saying they're playing around Gwyn and how good Gwyn is, but that is an extreme difference. The amount of kills that you have to make up when you show up to the event and he doesn't play like that, it's a drastic fucking change. And again, I'm not saying their system revolves around him frying, because obviously it doesn't, but it's a big factor. So I'm out on Ravens, bro, to sum it all up.
I don't think I'm out on Ravens completely, but I do think that there needs to be something needs to change quick, and it needs to be them figuring out their control, or Gwyn needs to have a breakthrough. I mean, I feel like there's a couple players that I've been like looking at, like when will they have take their step, and like Beans just took his step at that last major. I feel like that was
his best event he's ever had, for sure.
Best event he's ever had. Been confident, played really well, and like the team like rallied together. And I didn't think Toronto was that good, to be honest.
I thought that, bro, I was saying that they hadn't got, there was a case for them to be getting worse until Major 2. I thought they were getting worse.
And like, you just see how much stuff, and Sam, you know, from competing, like once like somebody takes stuff like that, like Beans did, you're able to capitalize on what Joe's doing. Insight can play his role more cleanly. Yeah, the whole camp changes, bro. Kleenex had his, like, I don't even know statistically, it just looked like he had his best event.
And they're doing podcasts.
Yeah, like they're vibing. But Surge didn't look good against
they got clapped.
Especially against Steve.
Yeah, but I'm just hoping it's the weird matchup, because they got 3-0.
They don't match up well against them, man. They don't.
They got 3-0 against them after the minors, so we'll see. I think Vancouver probably take this, and I agree with everybody's assessment. I'm not really high on Carolina until I see something from Gwyn on land, because he's right now where he's at as a player is, your point, blasting Desi, which is never going to get him a shot on an OpTic Thieves or a FaZe. He's going to be bouncing against these mid-pack teams his entire career, trying to find that breakout. So hopefully he can figure it out, because he's a talented player, but can't ignore
it. Only gets louder, Ben. It only gets louder.
It does only get louder.
And I don't know if Gwyn's the guy that can handle all that.
So. It does only get louder.
Well, cool. Let's move on to the final match, which is the first match on Sunday. Minnesota versus Cloud9. A must-win probably up for both teams. Potentially a banger. You see it's probably a pick'em, as is the odds down there. I think I got Rocker. We'll start with you, Sam. Are you Rocker or Cloud9 in this one?
I think this is a serious 50-50. This is a 50-50 through and through, genuinely.
What Nero are we going to see, bro? Like,
yeah, is Dante going to shit on them? Is Ken going to shit on them? I'm going to take Rocker, but that is the most unconfident pick that I could have made. But I'm going to pick them.
Yeah.
I think that just the Game 5 ice has been good for them, and I think that the majority, I mean, it's been the Rockers season, bro. They probably, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but they probably have more Game 5s than anybody in the league. So I think that trend continues, and I think the practice will help them. Again, I just want to see Rocker like establish an identity as a team.
Chelly, what are your thoughts? Because you like Rocker a lot, right?
Yeah, I like Rocker. I wanted them to bring on Fellow instead of Ken. Obviously, yeah, I did. I really did. I was pushing that prop pretty aggressively.
I hate that.
I mean, you can hate that, but I mean, granted, we've only seen 2 series from Kenny, and he's looked a lot better than. I know you were gassing up Kenny a lot.
Yeah, I love him for this team.
But how could you have seen that coming? Like, I personally, I had nothing to grasp after seeing his first 2, for stages at OpTic. So, I don't know, dude. This Rocker team. Again, Nero is now. I used to, be paying a lot of attention to what Paulie was doing on the map. Now I'm paying a lot of attention to how Nero's playing. Because if Nero has a good game, Estriel's been their best player by far. Kenny seems to be helping them in S&D, and he had actually a huge kill. He had a huge play in that control on Hossie against Miami. What I will say is that I still don't see this team getting over the hump, and until they can consistently win hard points and outside of vault have a really good hard point map pool, just their map pool's too tiny for me still, but if they can establish a better map pool, I think this team can be a real force. Yeah, Rocker.
I mean, yeah, I think I agree with Sam. I think this match is a 50-50 just because you just have streaky players on both sides, bro. I mean, Kremp and Mac and even Dante this season have been like really streaky. And then, dude, that's the definition of Rocker. Estriel and Geo.
They're gross. They're
Geo has built some consistency, and Estriel's been really good. I got Mini in this one. I think that with the hard point of C9 lately being that bad, I think Mini win both. I think they win both HPs. And yeah, I think Ken's bringing nice leadership to this roster. I keep going back to the picture. They all looked over at him. And he's
I saw it when they were in the search.
Picture. Yeah, that's a fire picture.
I love it, man, because it's like exactly what you're looking for. It's like Mini were already like somewhat dangerous with the last team. So it's like even if Ken doesn't put up numbers, he's still
that
gonna
trio
be
is so fucking good.
It's disgusting.
They're so good.
Even if Ken isn't putting up numbers, like he's still gonna have more of a positive impact than Paul is on the team, right? Because Paul doesn't put up numbers anyway.
Yeah.
I just like the team. It just like they got to win though. That being said, they got to win. It's like this is a series that is winnable, and it's against like a team.
This is the champ series too, bro.
Yeah.
C9 versus Mini. C9 is what 95 points, 100 points,
bro.
something like that.
And
Rocker
they're like
at 120.
And they're like a legit team, Sam, that can go to the event and like win one more match than you. So it's
100%.
like this is huge.
Bro, all of the Miami, Boston, C9 Rocker series, like from this point forward, are going to be like all eyes. It's going to be so good.
Yeah.
This is about to be a bang. This is gonna be a bang out series too, because look at the map set. C9 gonna ban Proto, Rocker gonna ban Hossie. They've just been
There's going to be like Vault Skylines.
literally Vault
Bro.
Skyline red card. Like take your pick.
Gio's about to keep on shitting. You
Dude,
know
I
why?
love Gio.
Because everybody's gassing him now. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just he's gonna feel so confident. He's gonna keep on playing well. The last thing I'll say about that is I don't know I'm yapping, but the Nero to me is their win condition. Like if to beat good teams, if Nero isn't throwing his life away, and he knows when to slow down, they're gonna be able to beat top teams, in my opinion. Like that's where I think they are.
Are we all in
Yes.
Minnesota, or is anyone picking Cloud9?
I just think
That's
Minnesota's
crazy.
peak is so
None
much
of us are
higher.
picking Cloud9.
I think Minnesota's peak is just better, bro.
I agree.
They're just. I think that trio. Dude, if Ken's gonna give you not even a 1-2, if Ken's giving you like a 1-1-1, something like that.
Yeah, you're winning. You're winning. That team's winning, bro.
You're
if
winning.
If he can do that.
You're gonna be in every series.
So you don't have a chance though, because Dante can wake up and just tweak.
Dante's got to play better. He did not.
he could.
He's got to play better.
Definitely could.
Could just show up and
Like,
take over.
that could like we could see a series where Ken's just getting world star and Dante's chowing everything. Like
Dante's turned to
Yeah,
Dope.
but Gio and Sid
He'll score.
Chows are about to be going 1-for-1, bro. I love it.
they'll square, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I need to see C9 make a move, bro.
This might be a Dill versus Ken, dude.
That's what I was thinking.
And I'm taking Ken in that one right
I
now.
was about to ask y'all's X factors. I think it's Dill versus Ken.
Taking Ken right now.
I'd say
The
Nero,
other three,
but
the other three, like Gio and Sib, I'll probably go even the way that Gio's been playing recently. I think Kremp and Nero, kind of even. I think Nero maybe slight edge the way that he's been playing, and I think Esriel clears Mac. So
yeah, I do too.
I mean,
Is it? Do you guys think Attach is like a bottom 5 AR in the league?
probably I would have to actually look at the names, but
It's so Chelly, it's so hard to
knee-jerk
like.
reaction potentially.
I'd say yeah, but it's so hard to say that because of like they're struggling hardpoint as a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
And
hear
that's
you.
kind of big skew. But yeah, I mean, just overall, I mean, there's two of them below both Falcons ARs and both LAG ARs probably are worse than them right now.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's it on that matchup, and that's all the games. Chelly, as always, at the end, you talk your best bets. Some decent cash last week. Anyone you're looking at this week on the more or less?
I mean, dude, we were just kind of talking about Mini at the end there. Gio. I got eyes on Gio. I'm seeing some lower numbers here as well on Prize Picks. Gio has just been absolutely undeniable. Doesn't matter the map. Doesn't matter. Just literally, and he spawned into a protocol. The guy's dropping 30. I want to just say that Kenny's been enabling him, which obviously when I was pushing my fellow prop, I just was hoping that someone with leadership would come on and kind of enable the guys around him. And Kenny's that unselfish player that's going to pick up your trade, and Gio's been frying. So I'm going Gio. You could take his 1 through 3 or his map 1.
I like that.
Any final thoughts? Any topics you guys want to cover before we wrap it up?
Chelly's Neptune versus Joe, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
here we go.
wanted to talk about Nep versus
Shit.
Joe. All right, obviously both guys having a major impact on their team. Nep coming into Vancouver and kind of completely transitioning that team into a contender. But I don't want to talk about bigger impact because obviously that's a huge part of it. But just better player, like ignore the team around them. Better player. Who do you want? You're starting a franchise between Joe and Nep.
Man,
I guess, yeah, it's tough.
See,
it's tough.
what
wanna hear-
sample size are we using? Are we using this
just
game?
Black Ops 6, yeah, just
let's
this
use
game.
the season.
Fuck.
I-
Just this season?
I can go first because I have my thought already. I think for me, I would take Joe, just because I think there's potentially a little bit more ceiling with Joe. I think he's a much younger, less developed player than Neptune. I think Nep's got a lot of straight line pressure, aggro sub, and I think I think he's gonna take his best this opportunity and make a career in the league. But I think Joe's got across different type of titles a much higher ceiling in my POV.
Well, we can't use that because
Again, we're just. I'm saying this
that's
game.
That's why I asked,
This
because I know what Joe has done in previous
this game,
titles.
I would still take Joe.
I think I go Nep, bro. I like the way he plays.
I'm leaning Nep only because he took a bottom 3 team and made them fucking godlike.
Godlike, bro. And
Instantly godlike too. Not even it's rep. Godlike.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's
That's
undeniable.
where my head is. But Joe also, I think, is more talented than Nep. But if we're talking impact, and bro, Seattle was legitimately a nothing team, and they made a two
Vancouver?
finals immediately. Sorry, Vancouver. They made 2 finals back to back after a roster change immediately.
Yeah.
I gotta go Nep, bro.
I think Joe clears Nep in search. I really do.
100%, 100%.
I think
I
Joe is
feel
more
like-
talented than Nep, though.
Nep plays really clean respawn, brother.
He plays ethical ball.
Yes, he plays really clean respawn. I love his game, bro. He reminds me of Envoy, but willing to even get more aggressive. I think Nep is one of the better players in the game, bro. I don't know where I'd rank him right now, but he's
Top 10 without a shadow of a doubt.
he's teetering on the edge of being one of the best SMGs. It's he's top 5 SMG.
Yeah.
For sure.
Agreed.
It's him, dude, that's such a hard
argument.
question.
That's actually a
bro.
crazy argument.
It's a crazy
That's a
question,
hard
but,
one.
but
This
the-
comes down to preference, bro. I would take Nep just because of simple preference. I like respawn.
If we're going, if we're not using this season as the indicating factor, I'm taking Joe because I know what Joe has done in other CODs.
yeah, and
But
his search is so good.
Nep's sample size is ass because he was on a compromised NY team with Clay and Krim, and he was on a dog shit Florida team.
Yeah,
So I don't know what Nep is going to give me in other CODs, but in this one, he's insane. But I know what Joe's giving you in other titles, and Joe's gross at all of them.
and it's both their skills are so transferable for any team. You could put them on any team, both of them, and I feel like they'd still be good.
Well, what I would say is that the thing about this argument is there's going to be an all-star team argument because you got to think that, for that first team, they're going to be trying to jockey for spots of probably Simp and Paco and Shotzi, you would think, and Kyler. That might be.
I'm
quite a
taking
combo.
Nep
What?
over Shotzi,
Well,
and I'm
Kyler,
taking Joe over
Kyler and
Shotzi.
Shotzi are sure. I take that back.
I'm taking
No,
both of them
Nep
over
and
Shotzi.
Kyler-
Kyler,
both of
Kyler,
them.
and Kyler and no, but
Over both?
it's Chris and Parker right now are probably in that first.
Hold on,
team
back
also,
up a
right?
second. There is a serious case for Kyler to be up in those discussions.
Okay,
I think
but
so,
we're
too.
talking about four SMGs. Who are you going with?
The 4 best ones?
I'm going with Nep, Joe. I'm going with Paco. And then
If you don't
I'll
put
probably go
Simp,
Simp.
you're
I'll go Simp. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're not putting Chris, you're
about to say,
I just had to think about it for a
Oh,
second,
okay.
and then I was like, nah, not a BZ. Simp for sure, because this stage one was crazy.
Wait,
I think-
slide someone in that 5 spot, Nameless. Slide someone in that 5
Why's there got to be a 5 spot?
Just the
The
sub, super
5th
sub.
spot's always fun.
We're doing
Super
an
sub.
all-star team. Okay,
The 5th spot's always fun. Four is
So
easy. The
what I
fifth
say?
one's
Nep.
always
What I say? Nep, Joe, Hydra, Simp.
Yep.
I will say I'm pretty confident Tyler's either got the best or second best
All right.
SNK now in the league. He has been.
Tyler's the best search player in the world for the last 10 years.
So 5.
He's crazy.
He's legitimately the best ever.
Do you want options, Nameless, or do you have an idea?
He's the greatest search player.
You
of
can
all
give
time.
me options, but I have somebody in my head right now. But I think I
I
might
was
be
gonna-
flamed if I say it.
I was gonna say Estrel, Abizi, Kremp were the first 3 that came to my mind.
Well, we can do 2 from the same team.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Well, then I would go Abizi. But if I
Okay.
can't do 2 from the same team, I was gonna say
You
Tej.
definitely do two for the same team.
Really, Tej. Okay.
We're
If I can't do
hoeing
2.
Tyler.
No,
No, I
we
put
are
Tyler
hoeing
there without it,
Kyler.
with no
We're hoeing
hesitation.
We're hoeing Kyler.
It's-
I'm
The
putting
one
Kyler
leg-
there with
the one
zero
leg he
hesitation.
It's
played,
just
he
their
fried.
it's their
He-
performance on
Tyler
land.
there with zero
What did they
hesitation.
place?
Brother, that's not on him. The rest of the team fucking didn't show up at that event.
Nah, bro.
He was the only one shooting back in major one.
You have to weigh that. You have to weigh their team performance a little bit. If Kyler does this again at the next major, then maybe I'll put him up. But he's been good. He's been really good.
Tom, we're mid-podcast.
He's been really good.
What's
That's
up?
insane. Tom, give me your top 5 subs in the game right now. Top 5.
Wait, you guys on a pod right now?
Yeah, right now. Tom,
That's not the question. That's not the question. The question is
5 subs in the game right now?
Right now.
No. Can't be 2 from the same team. That was the question.
Can't be 2 from the same team.
Can't
You
be
gotta
two
do.
from the same
It's
team?
not 2 from the
Alright,
same team anyway.
alright,
And it's
so
an
we'll go-
all-star team.
Okay, we'll go team by team. FaZe, Simp. Okay, then we'll go Vancouver, Neptune. And then we'll go LA Thieves. We'll go Hydra. And then for who's next? Who should I do next? OpTic?
I mean, you're missing a pretty big one.
You're missing a freebie. There you go.
So that's the 4.
Hold on.
You need a 5th sub.
JoeDeceives is number 1 right now. JoeDeceives is my number 1 right now. He's probably my number
that's
1.
fair.
Okay, who's your
Alright.
5th? You bet the top 5 subs in the game. Who are you putting in? Who's in the 5th spot?
In the 5th spot?
You only get. You can do to anybody. You can put it. Actually, should we do no? Okay, we'll do no one from the same team because that's what we did.
So right now you have Nep, Joe, Simp, and Hydra, and you need a 5th.
You need one more.
It would be between a couple players. I would say either.
But I didn't know we're doing top 5 subs straight up. I thought we were doing
I would say 3 players. Okay, I would say either Hook, Snoopy, or
Sam's face. I put TJ. Tom.
no, not TJ. No, not TJ. I put
Color
either Hook.
disrespect is crazy, bro.
Crazy.
I'd put either. I'm gonna say Hook. I think Hook is.
Tom, you're so,
Wow,
you're
he's
so
got peer
tough.
pressure.
You're
The
smart, Tom. Tom, you're so
Yeah.
smart.
I
You're
was
so
also-
Peer pressured.
I was also thinking maybe Estriel, but I
love Estriel.
Yeah, Estriel's a really good player. Estriel's a really good
Zero
player.
to 100.
Too.
Tom said Kyler.
We're
I
not
was
taking
like,
any
Then he
land,
said Snoopy. I
land
was like,
performance.
oh.
Land placings performance doesn't matter here. Is this how this?
Wait, no
Well,
crap.
I mean, that wasn't the question. That wasn't the fucking question.
you weren't
though.
here for the original question. It was kind of asked different for you, but
Well, what was the original
we're
question?
doing like an
all-star
all-star.
sub team.
We're doing like an all-star team and like everything, and you couldn't do
We're doing
2 from the
all-star
same
subs.
team.
An all-star team. Okay, well, listen, it's not. Somebody said, "Bro, just reading chat." It's not my problem. Y'all were just spamming Hook and Snoopy.
Wait,
You know what I'm saying?
is that Tom said Estriel's honorable? Because I actually think
Yeah.
I think I put an Estriel there actually.
I think
Astro should be up there.
Estriel's pretty up there.
He's so
I think
fucking
Estriel-
good.
You
So
know what I
someone
mean?
tried to
Estriel-
Real. I don't
But
really
there's
think
one
so. He's on the
player.
edge of that.
There's one player who's top 2, and he ain't 2.
JoeDeceives.
It's Gwyn Online. It's Gwyn
Yeah.
Online.
Oh yeah.
Winter
We already
guy, bro.
talked about that.
We talked about that.
Gwyn Online's top 2, and he ain't 2, bro. He ain't. I took the Gwyn Moore tomorrow, 1 through 3. That
Okay, get him
motherfucker.
out of here.
And his
Wait,
line 60. And his
before
line
Tom
60.
goes.
Chelly, his line 60.
Tom, it's literally there's only been 2 players like this, Blast and Desi, right? It's like Blast, Desi, and him.
Nah, Gwyn's better than both those players.
But they were like they were like
Yeah,
messiahs
they were like
online.
pre-liners though. They were the liners before.
Is there
been anybody else, Tom? Has there been anyone else?
Tyler,
Nah, here's the thing. Nah,
No,
Racine-
Kyler went to the first event and fried though. That's a
What do you mean, Kyler? The fuck are you talking
This
about,
guy's
Chelly?
unbelievable.
no. People
Kyler.
thought Kyler
There
was an
is data.
onliner, and then he pulled up to that one land and actually fried. And everybody's
Who
like,
else has been an online?
Can we not think of anyone else? Those 2 are like standout to me.
See, there are people that are insane online, but they're also really good on land.
Yeah,
they're
like
just good
solid.
players. Yeah, they're just good players.
Like Haggy was insane online.
Bro,
and then, like,
Crim
okay
online was undeniable.
Yeah, he was insane online too.
Crim
Like,
online was
unkillable.
unfuckwittable.
And he talk about internet the most. And that motherfucker had the god shit.
But who
think
was
there's any
insane
liners.
online and then bet buns online? We got to do a deep dive.
I'd have to like actually sit down and
yeah.
think about it. I think it's just those 3
I
off
think
the top of my head.
we could save that for the next episode. We could do a think and come back. to
ZooMaa was
that.
you go.
insane online, bro.
Tom was gross online.
I
That's
was
where only
fucking-
where he was fucking with me.
Wait, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Bro, I was way better on land than I was online.
All right.
All right. Well,
No, I
at
actually
that
was.
note,
No, I
at that
actually
note, I
was.
think we can end it there.
I actually was. Absolutely.
All right. Let me do the
Absolutely.
outro here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you follow us all on social media. We
Wait,
record these.
before
What?
you go.
What, Tom? What?
18-8, Sam. 18-8, Sam. 18-8.
Wait,
you know
that-
what I
Ring
mean?
you
check.
can't end it
Only-
yet.
Ring check.
only-
Check
only
check.
didn't give his
only
five?
because only because he made that
Ring
online
check,
comment.
chip
He made
check,
that
earnings
online
check,
comment. Don't matter.
All-star
It's
check,
18-8.
MVP
It's
check, career
18-8.
check, longevity
All those
check,
accomplishments,
games
and he
won
couldn't
in check,
fuck
height
with me,
check.
nameless. He couldn't fuck with me.
Height check,
18-8,
nose check.
nameless.
Wait, that's the match count against Sam?
No,
18-8.
18-8.
God damn.
I'm genuinely, and my conspiracy ant is that all of it came from AW when I was getting alley-ooped by
No,
OpTic.
I'm telling you, a
There was
lot
a
of it's
decent
from
chunk in World War II.
A lot is from World War II, bro.
There was a couple in World War II.
There's definitely a couple that's from World
There
War
was
II.
a
My record
I think
against
AW
Sam has to be egregious. It's like 3-12.
Yeah, and you
And
know who
I'm not
people
gonna lie to
compare
you,
You
and-
know who people compared me to? John. And you know who was on that team in World War II? John. Bet he wants to fuck with me in World War.
Yeah,
he
but
wants to fuck
do you
with
wanna
me.
hear
I'm
it?
like 14-1 against
there was
you.
definitely a map where John was.
Get control, Ben. Get control of the show.
And do you want to
Listen,
hear an
I'm-
egregious stat?
Yes.
You only beat me one time in my entire career on LAN.
Yeah, that's why. And I don't even have that. I didn't even know that number, but I know. And to this day, I always say you were the hardest player to play against.
Bro,
Man,
I used to run y'all.
Yo, but Sam, you know who I have a positive record
I'm
against?
trying to, bro.
You know who I have a positive record against?
Harder.
Tommy. Wow, that guy was chopped liver.
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
end it here, Tom. You want last thoughts on Ant?
Nameless
Jamie?
is terrible. He's nowhere near the top 50. Let's close the show. Let's close it.
All right,
Let's close
appreciate
it.
everybody tuning
Hey,
in.
yeah, same amount
We
of chips.
record every
Let's
Wednesday and
close it.
Thursday. Follow
Oh,
us on YouTube,
shit.
follow us on social media. We'll
Wait,
see you
guys,
guys
he's
on the
got
next
you
one.
No, he's got me beat by 3,
Peace.
actually.
We're out of here.
We're crashing. We're crashing.
All right, we're good. The show's over, bro. The show's